A cancer cluster in Houston. How one city leader and residents are fighting back to get answers.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome back to the Factor Uncensored. Ahead of plans for the EPA to test for toxic chemicals in Fifth Ward this summer, residents in the area hosted a cancer cluster summit this week. We have been sharing the claims of contamination for years here on the Factor. Tonight, we hear from a mother who has suffered from the issue firsthand. Latonya Payne lost her 13-year-old son, Corinthian Giles, to leukemia. She is now in her own battle against breast cancer, and she has also since filed a lawsuit against the city of Houston and Union Pacific Railroad, hoping for justice for Corinthian and everyone who lives in Fifth Ward. Joining me now in studio, Latonya Payne, her attorney Jason Gibson, and Houston City Council member Leticia Plum, who spearheaded the summit that we have seen this week in Houston. First of all, Ms. Payne, tell us your backstory and going through this pain, one pain after another, losing your son, dealing with your own breast cancer. How difficult has that been for you?
It's been very difficult. It's a very hard thing to have to endure. You know, Corinthian was diagnosed first, and then myself second, and then after he passed away, I was re-diagnosed. I'm currently in remission, but the experience was horrific, and it's not something that anyone should have to deal with due to, you know, potential negligence from others.
And when did you realize you lived in what many consider a cancer cluster?
It was after I was diagnosed and started putting two and two together that it wasn't a coincidence that Corinthian and I were diagnosed 3 months apart.
And what's interesting and also scary, you can go from house to house in that community, from Fifth Ward to Kashmere Garden, and find one person after another all experiencing cancer.
That is true, and it's horrible. That's the words that I can explain it. It's horrible and it's heartbreaking that this continues to happen.
And Mr. Gibson, we have been talking with you for years now about this. And where do we stand in this lawsuit? But for those who are wondering, at the heart of the matter, Union Pacific Railroad and something called creosote. So explain to the people what that is.
Right. Creosote is one of the most toxic substances that are out there. It contains stuff like dioxins, also known as Agent Orange, things that are known to cause different types of cancer, the exact type of cancers that all of the residents are suffering in Fifth Ward and Kashmere Gardens. We represent over 1,500 families just cancer-related alone.
Say that again, 1,500. Were you shocked when you realized just how many people had suffered in that community and continue to suffer?
To this day, it's hard for me to believe. Just today, we talked to another family that lives 2 streets over from the rail yard, has had 3 cancer deaths in the same household. The father just died 3 months ago. There's a 34-year-old daughter that's been diagnosed with breast cancer. While our clients continue to battle their cancer, we continue to fight the battle in the courtroom, and it's an uphill battle all the way still.
Now, there's been some years since you started filing your law. Have you lost any clients between that time?
We have. In fact, we've lost 6 to cancer over the last 60 days. Go ahead. Yep.
Councilwoman Leticia Plum, you thought this was an important issue. Clearly it is. But why did you decide to do this summit and bring people together for 3 days to focus on this issue?
No, that's a great question. I really believe that multiple things had to happen. One, we need to tell the world what is happening in Houston. Number one, and then we did that through the press conference on Monday. Number two, we needed to hear from the people, so we did that in the evening on Monday at the town hall. But we also had to bring experts in front of the people to let them know what's going on, and kind of what the positions are and who's involved in this. But thirdly, and the most important today, we had a roundtable conversation, which each stakeholder was able to sit at a table, and the residents were able to sit around them and one-on-one conversations regarding what's going on and what they can do to help them. It was critical to spend 3 days to delve into the problem because, you know, like Attorney Gibson said, it's been going on for decades, and we for once, I think we do have all of the governmental officials on the same page, at least. I'm not sure if we're moving in the right direction, in the same direction, but we're on the same page. But one piece that is missing is a community benefits agreement. I don't know if we're asking the residents what they want. And that was one of the end results. I mean, this summit that we had, we're going to put together a white paper, which, you know, kind of defines every single thing that the community wants, what the experts are saying, and what needs to happen, and how we can move forward in a positive way.
And as a result of this summit, you've put together some collaboratives involving Texas Southern University and other entities out there. Tell us just a little bit about those.
Absolutely. So the Bullard School of Environmental Justice has been amazing. I mean, they've been on the forefront of this. Impact is a community group that's there. One of the largest announcements I have is our collaboration with Morehouse School of Medicine. I did that intentionally because I believed it was important to bring an independent party into the conversation, and also a school that educates people of color from the medical field. And when you walk into an area where residents have comorbidities and multiple contaminants that are affecting them at one time, it's important to have African American doctors that are looking at this, because it's happening across the nation.
And Mr. Gibson, is it too late for individuals who may not have taken action before to become a part of the lawsuit? And are we looking at a class action lawsuit or individuals right now? Obviously, you would have to establish pattern and practice. But are we looking at a class action or individuals, and is it too late to become a part of the lawsuit?
Two things. One, we just had Union Pacific admit for the first time to the EPA that the chemicals that are dumped on their rail site pose an imminent and substantial risk or endangerment to the public welfare. So it's not too late. If you live in those areas or you've been diagnosed with cancer, you need to file your lawsuit. Contact us, contact another lawyer, do whatever you have to do. But thanks to our efforts and the efforts of such people as Councilwoman Plummer and others that are putting a substantial amount of effort into taking care of these residents. If only Union Pacific took the same amount of effort in protecting and compensating and cleaning up this area, we'd already be there. We wouldn't be here talking to you right now. So it's not too late. If you live in that area, take action. Definitely, if someone in your family's been diagnosed with cancer, take action.
All right. We want to thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor. And Ms. Payne, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
And we wish you the best. We'll be back with more Factor in just a moment. Stay with us.